Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Now, from the title of this film, I'm I have no words to say. This is why I just wanted didn't want to this is what this film has done to me. It's making me stutter, mumble my words because I have pure frustration, and maybe that's a good sign because it wants to prevent me from talking about it. I'll just show you. That's what I feel about it. I would say this is the worst film I've seen this year, and I'm glad I was wise enough not to see it in theaters. Otherwise, I would have went straight to the desk and I would have demanded my money back. I would have walked out of the theater and demanded my money back, and I was wise enough not to waste my money. And also, I didn't waste my money on buying that DVD. It was given to me. So I didn't pay a cent for that. That was given to me. I didn't want to own it. And there was another film that was given to me, which one day, well, when I do my worst when I do my worst list of 2016, I will show that. But this one, the other one is a very close second. Is a very close second. It was hard to compete between these two films. But this one was more of an insult because I saw this film much more growing up more than I did the other one though. But the other one I'll get into that though. But this film I love to death. It's a sci-fi classic, and it always will be. I love that movie. That should not have been made. That is an insult, and that is probably the most bullshit films I've seen in a long time. That film. I didn't want to I didn't want to break the disc because it was given to me and I didn't want to do that. But I'm not holding back on this film. Follow the expression on my face right now. I am mad as hell. This film is a piece of shit. This film is, and the reason why I'm not trying to scream and yell because I don't want to blow my lungs out while doing this. I don't want to break myself, but yeah, this film should not be made. And if they probably thought this, okay. Well, I'm gonna start from the top from this. Yes, Independence Day Resurgence, which I think it was a stupid title to begin with. I would have just been better off calling it Independence Day 2. But recap, I reviewed this film and it's shown how much I love the movie. I grew up with this film and it's worth watching 20 times over. And it's still much better and not be boring watch 20 times over than this film. Great cast, great dialogue, more than great, awesome, spectacular special effects. Characters that you love and you care about. And memorable score. Memorable lines of dialogue. The film was a huge hit when it came out. And it probably known as one of Roland Emmerich's best films. Well, it's still Roland Emmerich's highest grossing film still, though, but this film did not need this film did not need a sequel. It ended perfectly. So what the question is, why was this film made? Well, one of the two options. Either because it's a cash cow for mainly money, or just for the sake of, for films that's been years since for an original film to come out. Why don't we make another one just for the sake of it? For the nostalgia. To say we try to make as much money as it was, or bigger and better than the first, or as the first film did, with that impact. Or second, what was the second one? For that, screw my thoughts. I just thought a second thought, and now it just left my brain, and I forgot about it now. That's how bad this film screwed me up. But I mean, when they first announced they were gonna make a sequel, I thought to myself, it's 20 years too late. Okay, maybe it would have been fine if it came out like maybe a few years after the first film, maybe 5 at the most. But 20 years. I know they're probably not good for the 20th anniversary to this film, so they can make it for the hype it is. But the film, I would basically say is a flop. I would say that because it had a horrible opening. It didn't meet the expectations that people thought it would be. Because Finding Dory was making the big bucks around that time. And I like Finding Dory. I would easily pick this over that, despite the difference between a live action or animated movie. I don't care. Finding Dory is much better than this, and I'm sure a lot of people, or more than a dozen people, would agree with that. But the film, it was such a tremendous budget of 165 million. The film bombed huge domestically. It made only a pathetic 103 million. It didn't break even. And worldwide made over 389 million, and it failed to meet the expectations of the first film. And what's sad is that the first film, total worldwide, the first film made over 800 million worldwide, and it was a huge smash in the 90s, the year 1996. And domestically total made over 300 million, and I knew right away this film would not make that much more money as the first film. I knew that right away. And the total worldwide to this was around the same time how much the film made domestically, overall 300 million. So this film did not make totally it was a mismark. What's the term? It was a mishit or a misfire. Yeah, that's the better. This film was a huge misfire that it made less than half of the domestic total for the first film. And worldwide, it was way less than half, not even a quarter. Well, maybe the quarter, maybe of what the worldwide. It made like around the same amount of money it made domestically for worldwide for the first film. And 31% Rotten Tomatoes, that's too high. I would give it a lot lower. 5.3 is too high on IMDb. 31% Rotten Tomatoes is way too high. I would give it much lower. Same thing on IMDb has a 5.3, that's too high. I give it much lower. So the film did deserve to bomb. And what is more of an insult is how badly one of the major things is how badly they treat the characters to the first film. Characters that a lot of people enjoyed when they first saw this. They enjoy the characters, and to this day, I still enjoy the characters. I always enjoyed Bill Pullman as the president. Between him and Harrison Ford from Air Force One, two of the best actors who play a president. And Bill Pullman, excellent as the president of the first film, memorable speech. Jeff Goldblum, I love. Will Smith, rocked. The three main characters. How do they get treated in this film? Let's start with Will Smith. He's dead. The character is already dead by this point because they say what they well, first of all, when you see in the White House, you see a picture of him in the White House, and they talk about he was doing a flying test, and there was an accident, and he's dead. And with Jeff Goldblum, his ex-wife from the first film, she is never mentioned, strangely, and no one, not Jeff Goldblum or nobody else mentions that as if she never existed at all. And Jeff Goldblum's film he didn't do much in this movie. He didn't do anything. And it sucks because I like Jeff Goldblum. I just reviewed The Fly, the 86 remake of The Fly. I love Jeff Goldblum. You know, that film, Jurassic Park, and other stuff as well. But it's just he did nothing in this movie, and it's sad to say because I enjoy Jeff Goldblum. And then Bill Pullman, you saw him in the trailer. He has a beard, and he's going crazy because because you know how in this film, after he got a taste of the powers from the aliens during that before they shot the alien through the glass. He has all these little things just messing with his head, and he's going a little bit crazy, and he has a beard. And then the big insult at the end of the film when he gave a meaningless death. That was even a bigger insult. So I just took the booklet from this So yeah, Will Smith, a memorable character that everyone loved. He's dead. Jeff Goldblum, he didn't do anything. Where is it? Find it. If you can see, Bill Pullman, crazy than the point that it gives a meaningless death at the end of the movie. And nothing in this film. That's our three main characters that gets treated in this film. That's what pisses me off more. And I love these characters. And Jeff Goldblum's wife in the film, where's Margaret Collin, never mentioned, as if she never existed at all. Judd Hirsh, who returns as Jeff Goldblum's dad. He shouldn't have been in the movie because he was pointless. I mean, the first film he gave purposes in the first film, but in here he shouldn't have been in it. Vivica Fox, who played Jeff Goldblum's girlfriend and wife, she's in this for, I would say, less than a minute, or maybe a minute at the most, because she's in like 2 scenes, and then she has a very it's not horrible. I'm saying a pathetic death. Basically, she had a pathetic death. Just probably the same thing. I could say the same with Bill Pullman. So, and then Brent, I'm talking about the original cast here, and then Brent Spiner, or Spin, or whatever. I don't want to say it, Brent. I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but it's just either Spiner or Spinner. To me, he was dead. He was dead in the first film. It clearly showed he was dead when Adam Baldwin, after he was being choked, but being a translate for the alien, and then after the alien got shot, Adam Baldwin shot the rest of the alien. Then he checked on him first, and he was like with the crazy eyes, looking like he's dead, like this. He was dead. To me, he's dead. He didn't have to be in this movie just to give some crappy lines of dialogue that try to be funny and it's not, and for to explain some stuff. That's it. He didn't need to be in this movie. To me, he's dead. He should not be in this movie. And then the new cast members are horrible, and I hate these characters. And Jesse Usher, who plays the son, Will Smith, and Vivica Fox, even the little boy in the first movie. Horrible actor. I did not like the character. I hate all these new characters, especially in Liam Hemsworth, younger brother to actor Chris Hemsworth. I'm sorry, I don't care for him as an actor. I prefer to watch his older brother Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is a much better actor than his younger brother. That's just me, though. It's my personal opinion. To me, I don't think Liam Hemsworth. I don't care about his role in the Hunger Games films. I did not like Expendables 2. And to be honest, he was the only expendable of the team that died out of the whole trilogy, whatever. He was the only expendable that died. And he was a character I did not care for anyway. So, Tim and Jesse Usher, the two new leads. I hate these characters. And the other supporting characters I didn't give a rat's ass about. Because they're all annoying, or they're just meaningless characters that I did not care for, like Liam Hemsworth's buddy, who I didn't know who he was and I didn't care. There was an Asian girl that the Liam Hemsworth's buddy kind of liked. I did not care for her. There was this guy with the guy with the glasses that was with Jeff Goldblum, the went on the right from I didn't care for. Or that British woman that's supposed to like. This woman knows Jeff Goldblum kind of likes him, which I don't know. His wife is nowhere anywhere, or not mentioned or anything. So I don't know what's the thing with her. So I don't care. And the guy who is this general or colonel, whatever, played by William Fichtner, weirdly enough, who has been in movies, but I don't care for him as an actor. I just don't. And Sela who plays the president. Stupid. Which I'll get into. Also, all these new characters, I don't care about. I cared about the main characters, like Jeff Goldblum, Will Smith, and Bill Pullman. Now, probably the reason why the film failed because of Will Smith. Probably the reason is probably that Will Smith didn't star in it. Maybe because they couldn't pay him enough. Or probably the fact that he was doing Suicide Squad by then, so he chose. And honestly, I preferred him in Suicide Squad because I didn't like Suicide Squad, but he was one of the few characters I liked. I liked Will Smith in Suicide Squad as Deadshot. He was kind of fun to watch. I don't care for the movie though, but him I liked. So I'd rather pick his character in that film, give him much to do, than the bull crap thing what they did with his character in this film. A character we loved and was funny and kicked ass is now dead. Thanks a lot. I just hate when they pull stuff like this, that characters that you like in the first film, and then if they make a sequel or another two go along, how they treat original characters. Either they kill them off, or they just make them do jack shit, and that's it. And the CG in this film is horrible in this movie. Plus it makes it typical. You know, it makes it a typical generic disaster movie. Everything is CG. Everything is all green screen. It clearly shows. This is what makes the special effects in this film so wonderful and awesome to look at. Because yeah, there was there was some CG added to it though, but there was a good mixture of practical and they used model work, and even miniatures of buildings, whatever. It was awesome to watch. And how sad is that when the film looks much more a bigger hit, or no, actually bigger budgeted, how the way the film and how the cities got destroyed more than the crappy look in this movie. And plus, this film had a much smaller budget, and while this film has a whopping 165 million compared to what, 70 to 75 million. How stupid does that sound when a film like this, with a much smaller budget, even though back in the day it was still expensive though, looked much better in a film than a $165 million budgeted film? You know there's obviously a problem there. So yeah. So addressing the horrible effects, how they treat the characters, and the score of this film is nothing. It's pathetic to listen to, and it's not memorable. It's in one ear, out the other. And no. David Arnold's score in this film was memorable, and it was good. Why did Roland Emmerich did not bring David Arnold back to do this? I have no idea. Instead, they get the people who did music to like 2012 and White House Down and Day After Tomorrow, which, I mean, I understand that those scores in those films were decent though, which I haven't reviewed those films though, but I can't say it on the but why couldn't they get David Arnold to come back to do the score? Even though the film would have still been shit though, but maybe at least give us something good from a score, especially who did the memorable score from the first movie. So that's another problem. The score is horrible, and the film is too long. This film was over 2 hours though, but it was fast paced and it was not boring. It kept on going, on building characters and good action and characters and pacing, everything on that. Well, this film was 2 hours, and it was slow, it was boring as hell. And as the film started to go, I was starting to fall asleep. Because this film was that boring, I was starting to fall asleep. Because I'm just watching this, like this, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, just how the film is just so boring. And honestly, it's probably it's the most boring film I've seen this year, or probably one of them. But just watching the film, it's just typical. As if we've seen 50 other disaster movies. I mean, and this film does not. And this film, just the look of the film does not seem it's directed by Roland Emmerich. It could look like any other director could have taken over this. It doesn't feel like it's a Roland Emmerich movie. I'm sorry, Roland Emmerich. I love this film to death. I like 2012. Day After Tomorrow, overall I liked. 10,000 BC, no I didn't. I didn't like 10,000 BC. What else? Universal Soldier, I love. Stargate, I like because it has Kurt Russell and James Spader. But my brother and my dad, they're much bigger fans of it because they enjoy the TV show. But overall, I like Stargate just because for Kurt Russell and James Spader. The Patriot with Mel Gibson, he gave a good performance. Godzilla, 1998. I love that movie. Between this film and Godzilla are my favorite films from Roland Emmerich. And Godzilla, as much as that film got hated on year after year and pretty much by everybody, I love Godzilla and I would defend that film because I grew up with that film, I saw it back in the theater back in the day, and I had fun watching it, and I still have fun to this day. People can hate that movie all they want, but it's 10 times better than this piece of crap. People say that film is a piece of crap. No. This film is much, much worse than the 1998 Godzilla movie. That film I can have popcorn fun with Godzilla because I love that movie. And you know, because I used to have the poster, but it's gone though, but one day I'll put it back up here. So yeah, Godzilla 1998. 10 times better than this. And especially, that film got Razzies. I wouldn't be surprised if this film gets Razzies. I wouldn't be surprised. So, I'm just trying to calm down to anything else before I get into the story because I don't want to make this an hour-long review. I just want to get this excruciating pain over with, that has been a pain in my ass ever since I stopped watching this. It's otherwise, I just better get this over with now before. I don't know how before though, but I just want to get this over with because it's just been such. It's tedious to watch. It's been tedious to watch. And hideous. It's hideous. It's disgusting. It shouldn't have been made. And it is disgusting because it's an insult. Okay, so after I broke down all the things that I talked about the cast, directing, effects, all that. Okay, yeah, it's 20 years after it's 20 years because 20 years is the 20th anniversary of the first film, so they're celebrating. And by this time, they on the moon. They've already made a moon base on the moon, and I guess now we've taken the aliens' technology and we made it a difference for ourselves. We made it into weapons. That's how we can develop on the moon base, and all these flying jets to make it travel faster. So, and Liam Hemsworth, I just can't stand looking, especially him and Jesse Usher. They're both pilots, but they had an incident which I did not care for. I did not care for whatsoever. But they were friends though. But they were both doing pilot, flying. And Liam Hemsworth almost did something to get Jesse Usher killed, and they don't like each other. And with Liam Hemsworth, he's on the moon, this little flying object with his other buddy, which I thought he was dumb to watch. Well, annoying. That's the whole thing. Okay, I'll just put him in the term annoying. They do something that makes the probably part of the base start tilting, and Liam Hemsworth. Which basically, no, it was not his fault. It was his buddy's fault. But he goes and takes the blame anyway when he puts the whole thing back together using that spaceship which has these arms on it. So he takes the blame for that. And Jeff Goldblum, he's back. He's back on Earth, and he. Oh boy. This film's leaving my brain. Because it's that bad, I'm forgetting it, and I want to forget this film. Bill Pullman, like I said, Bill Pullman, he's going crazy because he have the stuff. Oh, one thing. Speaking of Bill Pullman, how the film opens up. Okay, it's a dream sequence, but if it isn't a dream sequence, how do these aliens get the footage from this? Because it opens up with footage of Bill Pullman giving his speech from the first movie, and first of all, how did the aliens get the footage from that? I don't know how. But it's a dream sequence anyway, though. Then he has a beard, and he's saying that they're coming back. They're gonna come back. And Bill Pullman's daughter is now older and is played by Maika Monroe, who was from the horror film It Follows. Now, It Follows, I thought was interesting, and I thought she did pretty decent in the movie. In this film, I didn't care for her. I thought she was horrible in the movie. If I were to pick that, I would pick her role in It Follows, which is a much more interesting film than this. And of course, Bill Pullman's daughter and Will Smith's son, of course, they know each other because from the first film when they were kids. Jesse Usher, he goes to the place of the moon. He gets there. He punches Liam Hemsworth in the face. Jeff Goldblum, okay. One thing leads to another. There's this white sphere that comes close to the moon, and Sela Ward as the president, and they see this, and they're wondering if it's one of theirs. Now, first of all, here's one of the dumbest decisions that I've seen for our government in movies to do. Okay, Jeff Goldblum says he tells him this. Oh, it looks different. It's probably not theirs. Maybe it's a good alien. Don't shoot it. The dumb president, she says, "Oh, let's make a vote. And do we shoot it down or not? Oh, let's shoot it down. Okay, fire away, whatever. I don't care what the lines of dialogue. I don't care. I'm making it similar to that. They said fire at it, and they shoot it down. Now, of course, later on in the movie, it turns out it is a good alien because it came to warn them. It wanted to, before they come back, they came to warn them about them coming back. But no, our dumb government brings them down because they assume it's one of theirs because they don't want to take any chances. They fire with the alien technology that they have. And plus, wouldn't you listen to Jeff Goldblum after what he did in the first movie? How he was right on that signal before the opening before the first alien attack in the first movie. It was because of him, he saved the president and whoever that went on to Air Force One before they fly out of there to warn them. But he made a difference, though. Of course, people died though, but he still made a difference in ways that otherwise they would all been dead though if it wasn't for him. So, and to come up with all the stuff how to bring down the aliens as well. Wouldn't you listen to him after he helped save the Earth? But no. I guess what he did 20 years ago they forgot what he did 20 years ago and it doesn't matter anymore. They just don't want to listen to him anymore. Oh, because we have their technology, so we know better. It just makes us humans look like crap, It's kind of like similar to like in Batman v Superman, which, yeah, this film is much worse than Batman v Superman. I would say that. But what I'm saying to this that the human race are idiots in that movie as well, because everybody hates Superman. They think, but I'll get to that one time though. But I'm just pointing it out. It just makes us the human race look like a bunch of idiots. But yeah, and then Jeff Goldblum, he wants to go see where it crashes, and then the president says, no, you're gonna come with us with our sports for our celebration." This is what I'm talking about. This is characters that I don't care for, and I don't like these characters. I mean, it sucks for Jeff Goldblum. It's not his fault. It's how because who did it? You got 5 writers who did help do the screenplay for this. 5 writers. 2 of them is Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. Other ones you got James Vanderbilt, James A. Woods. No, not James Woods, not the actor, but James A. Woods, and Nicholas Wright. 5 writers, including Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. 5 writers help come up right with this stuff. 5, and this is what they come. You got 5 writers, and they create this. They create stupid characters, especially characters that you don't give a crap about, and how bad they treat our original cast. I mean, I'm talking about Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. Come on, especially Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. You made such a great first movie, but you want to now treat the characters like garbage now, and you especially got 3 other writers with you guys, and this is what you come up with. So yeah, and also when during the celebration, you get an appearance from Robert Loggia, who's sadly passed away because he passed away before this film was released. I think back in last year in December, and this is the last film he's done. May he rest in peace. But his character is a cameo. He doesn't speak or anything. He just gets up and waves, and I can tell just looking at him in the movie, you could tell he was not all that well. It sucks for Robert Loggia. May he rest in peace. It just looking at him like you could tell he's not doing all that well. He just gets up and waves, and that's it. So, And, rest in peace, Robert Loggia, but it sucks. So yeah. And then Brett Spinner, which to me he's dead. He should have been dead because they throw in this whole bullcrap thing. Oh, he was in a coma for 20 years, and he wakes up, and you get the supposed funny lines that were just not even funny. He's like, "Oh, I'm awake. We won." And it's like, "Oh, hey, why didn't you tell us some my butt was hanging out?" Because he's wearing the hospital gown thing. I liked him in the first film. Did not care for him in this movie. And they're back at. There's also they're back at Area 51, and then for some reason they're keeping alien prisoners. Why? And also I could tell they're all completely CGI. No practical effects. No. The awesome effects in the first movie are still awesome. Cool designs of them, but here they're completely CG. Doesn't look good at all. And of course you get the line where from that Brett Spinner said in the trailer, it's like, they're not screaming, they're celebrating. So then trying to throat's getting a little dry. And then after that, Jeff Goldblum, he goes out there to, what was it, Africa, whatever. And now they get this thing. I know they just pull this out of the air because apparently during the first film, there's another set of aliens that started drilling. I'm like, where did this come from? No one mentioned drilling in the first movie, so they just pulled this out of the air. Oh, because they're drilling. They go into it, look up stuff, and apparently before the mothership got destroyed in the first film, they sent a distress signal back to their home planet that's like millions of light years away. So they managed to send a distress signal, and now there's a new batch coming towards them. And then after that, the moon base gets destroyed, and whoever's on there, I don't care about. And this is also during the part. I'm jumping all over the place because I don't care. I just want to get through this as much as I can, so I don't have to make this a long review. I just want to get this torture over with. This is during this point where Jeff Goldblum's with Liam Hemsworth. They're in the space. They're on the moon, the spacesuits, and in the first teaser, Jeff Goldblum says, it's a hell of bigger than the ones that I had last time. And this is the part where they're on there, Liam Hemsworth, Jeff Goldblum, and the rest of the people that are with them. They're flying. And of course you get to see most of these pretty much you saw in the trailers when they're at London and everything is, because there's the big spaceships, which are much bigger than the previous ships. They have this own gravity, they suck buildings up and they drop it back down. And of course, you get a piss joke where Liam Hemsworth is asking Jeff Goldblum, "Hey, are you nervous? Did you pee your pants? I mean, pee in your suit?" And he said, "Yeah." He says, "Me too." So yeah, all of this, he had to throw in a piss joke. And speaking of piss jokes, later towards the film, when Liam Hemsworth and Jesse Usher and all the other pilots, they crash in the alien ship. And they have to get out of there to escape so they can get to the other alien crafts. Liam Hemsworth, he distracts aliens by taking his wad out and pissing in front of the aliens to give them the middle finger. Yeah, that's great. Seeing Liam Hemsworth just piss in front of the aliens and giving them the middle finger as to distract them. Yeah. That's what I want to see. As well, I mean, Chris Hemsworth is a much better actor to me than his brother is. I'm sorry. He doesn't have the talent that his brother has. This is my own personal opinion, though. But I just don't care. I just don't care for Liam Hemsworth I just don't care for him. I don't. I just rather watch Chris Hemsworth in his other films, especially when he plays Thor. So yeah, because after that, this is when Jesse Usher, and when I'm noticing they're trying to play the same thing from the first one, like how they're Jesse Usher's, they have a bunch of jets and they're gonna attack the ship, and then it doesn't work, and then they lose all their jets, just like it was in the first film, and that's how Chris, not. I was talking about Chris Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth ends up with Jesse Usher on the ship. They try to attack them, but their jets get messed up, and they crash land on the ship. And with Judd Hirsh, Jeff Goldblum's father, he wrote a book, and he's in a nursing home. And the next thing you see him, he's on a boat in the ocean, and this is where you get another spaceship starts drilling in the sea. And there's some people there watching it. Whatever, I don't care. And then there's a tidal wave after that. Judd Hirsh, he gets knocked out, and he gets picked up by kids. And then Judd Hirsh, and then after that, they get the kids on a school bus, and he drives to Area 51. That's pretty much it for Judd Hirsh. And then they take the... What they thought they shot down was really enough. It was a good alien. It's not alien. It's an artificial intelligence with a female voice, and tells them that it's a threat to these aliens because they have ways how to defeat them. And by this time, of course, you get another play on for the first film that where Bill Pullman, he gets into the container, like how Brett Spinner was when he was wrapped around the neck and where the alien speaks through him. Bill Pullman does the same in this, and it was so pathetic to watch Bill Pullman go through this. I'm surprised why he said yes to this. I love Bill Pullman in the first film. He was a great president. It just totally sucks watching his character go through all this. It sucks big time. So he gets wrapped around the neck. The alien speaks through him, and they shoot it. And how they plan to get now they have what they're dealing with the aliens is now they have a hive and there's a queen, and since this artificial intelligence is a threat to them, we'll make a diversion, like set your signal to some explosives to get them to follow that. But their stuff got messed up. I think it was like the satellites, whatever, and someone had to do it manually, and someone has to volunteer to take it, and then Bill Pullman volunteers to do it. So, and you get one of the other times where you see Bill Pullman talking with Jeff Goldblum. It's like what you saw in the trailer. It's like, I had 20 years to prepare us. We never had a chance. And Bill Pullman says, we didn't last time either. So he volunteers to take the jets with explosives to destroy the queen and the hive. Now this was another freaking insult. Yeah, he drives in there, and with the queen, he sees it, and he says, "Happy 4th of July," and he detonates explosives, and he dies in a sacrifice. But his death is pointless because the queen is still alive because she has a shield around herself. So yeah, the president, this president right here, saying, we will not go quietly into the night. We're going to move on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day. Which, by the way, he tries to give another speech like that in this film, and he failed horribly. His speech in this film was memorable. So the president who gave that memorable speech in this is now dead from a pointless death because he tried to blow it up, self-sacrifice, and he failed because he's still alive. I'm getting ready to flip here. I'm trying to restrain myself because I'm getting ready to flip. So yeah, that's what happened with that's how the writing is. What they did with this once great president. And Jeff Hirsh gets there, and Jeff Goldblum's there to drive the bus, and they start attacking the alien because she has a shield over herself, and all the alien ships start forming this circle to protect to protect the queen. And by this time, Liam Hemsworth and everyone else, they escape from the ship with the alien crafts. Oh, by the way, how they get out of the ship, because you try to get another dumb line dialogue that is a ripoff from the first movie, while Liam Hemsworth's boy said, "Oh, the doors are closing, the doors are closing." Yeah, just like how Jeff Goldblum was doing, must go faster, must go faster. Does not work, I don't... It's almost like they're trying to redo the first film. Why? Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, why are you trying to redo your own movie? Your first movie, which was awesome and classic. Why did you need to do the film in the first place? That's my guess. What, people who've been wanting to one? No. Raise your hand, please, if anyone wanted a sequel to Independence Day. Raise your hand. I didn't. I didn't want one. So, and they tried shooting at it with those other jets, but they had to fly straight. They had to fly straight over the tornado of ships. They do a nosedive to shoot right in the back, and it dies before it's snatching the real artificial intelligence. And by the way, the alien prisoners, they escape and they start shooting. This one guy from the Africa, he has some swords. He kills someone by stabbing them in the backs. Guess that's their weak spots. And about the president and people in the room, and they get killed off screen, which I'm glad because of their stupidity for shooting down that good alien, which they thought wasn't a bad alien. I'm glad they got killed for their stupidity. Oh, and Vivica Fox, I forgot to mention that part. Yeah, because as the cities were being destroyed, they helped go to the roof with this woman, her baby, and just as the helicopter's taking off, she's trying to hang on, and Jesse Usher, he's there just in time for her just in time to see her die, and you see a camera wide shot of her falling to CGI land, and there was no impact whatsoever, and makes another original character from the first film atrocious death. Atrocious. Or pathetic, whatever. So yeah, that's what happened with Will Smith's wife now. There goes her. And they're trying to kill off all these old actors because people want to see these new generation actors like Liam Hemsworth and Jesse Usher and Maika Monroe and all these other young actors. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's out with the old, in with the new. That's what it is today. It's out with the old, in with the new. Try to make new better than the old. You know, there are days where old is still better than the new. Old can be still better than the new. Plus, people did not want this. Why would this need a sequel? If the film ended perfectly, there was no sequel bait ending. Oh, and speaking of which, after it does have a sequel bait ending, where Brent Spinner was talking with the artificial intelligence, saying that we can take the fight to their world now. Time to kick some alien ass. And then you get the cut to the credits, where you hear David Arnold's little bit of his score from the ending of the first movie. As you can see, I am totally drained by this movie. I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to make this too long. I'm already 50 minutes in. I'm just gonna close this up as fast as I can. This film is trash. It's garbage. It is the worst. As I finish explaining this whole movie, I don't care if I miss any parts because I hate this movie. But it's garbage. It is to me. It is the worst film of 2016. It is. I hate this movie. The film deserves to flop, and I don't care for the Razzies, but I do because I like to be interested to see what films that I would agree on that deserves to be on the list, and sometimes I don't because there are films that I don't think deserves to earn a Razzie or whatever. This one I would make an exception. I would make an exception if this film gets Razzies. This one in this case I'll be perfectly fine with. This film is one of the biggest insults to a classic film that I love growing up. It is one of the biggest insults. This film did not need to have a sequel. It ended perfectly. Characters that I loved and cared about, they get treated like garbage in this. Especially Will Smith's character. He's on since he couldn't do it, so they had to write in that he's automatically dead. Bill Pullman sucks what they did with this character, and he died pointlessly. His death didn't matter because the alien was still alive with a shield. So his death didn't matter, and just bye-bye Bill Pullman, you're gone. So they had to make it seem like the new characters to come in and kill the alien. Because the old characters, they can't do the... Yeah, because we had to have leave since his death didn't matter, we had to leave it to Liam Hemsworth and Jesse Usher to kill the main alien. And Jeff Goldblum, I'm sorry. I love Jeff Goldblum, though, but he's given nothing to do except to find some stuff and explain. Brent Spinner, I don't know if you can see him right there, though, but he's dead. He's dead. He should not come back as this whole coma bull crap. He's dead. They should not brought him back. And I did not care for him, and he was not funny as he was in the first film. William Fichtner, I don't care for him either. I don't like him. Well, yeah, after the first president got killed, he's been made president now. Judd Hirsh, he should not have been in the movie anyway. I did not care for him at all. As much as I loved him in the first film, he should not have been in this. Maika Marone as the daughter of Bill Pullman. I like her in It Follows, though, but her acting in this film I didn't care for. Liam Hemsworth and Jesse Usher, I hate the roles in this film. I did not care for them whatsoever. Especially with Liam Hemsworth, first he says a piss joke to Jeff Goldblum, and then he really does take a piss to distract the aliens and give the middle finger. Yeah, that's what I really wanted to see. What else? B.A. Fox, she has a pathetic death. She's in for like a minute with only 2 scenes. Robert Loggia, may rest in peace. He only has a cameo, a silent cameo, that's it. The effects in this film is horrible. It's hideous to watch. It's all green screen, horrible CG, all green screen. Because it just makes this film more of a masterpiece than that film because it has awesome. This film still has awesome special effects, and what probably sucks is still that people to this day probably still don't like this movie, which I have no idea why. I have no idea why, because the film was a big hit back in the day, and I don't know why some people don't care for it. I mean, think about it, because if it wasn't for this film, we wouldn't probably get all these alien invasion films and disaster films of today. If it wasn't for this film, because back then before this film there weren't that too many, but since this film came out, it smashed the box office, and it started this whole trend of big disaster and alien invasion films. So I don't know why the first one still gets hated on. If it's if it created this whole new genre. But that film still gets hated on. I have no idea why. This film deserves to get the hate. I would make an exception. Bill Pullman, it's just pathetic what they did. It's pathetic what they did with this character. Jeff Goldblum too. Will Smith too, especially to Will Smith. And nothing is memorable in this movie. No lines of dialogue is memorable. The jokes, score, directing, effects, nothing in this film is memorable. While in this film, you got memorable lines of dialogue, memorable lines of dialogue like "Welcome to Earth." Now, that's why I call it Close Encounter, especially Will Smith. You know, it's like, ah, that's right. Who's the man? Or Bill Pullman's speech. He tries to give another speech in this film. He failed. His speech in the first film is memorable. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. Which, speaking of sacrifice, while his death didn't matter, Randy Quaid's his sacrifice did matter because he figured out a way how to bring down the alien ships on Earth. Hello, boys! I'm back. And nothing iconic in this film. And this is iconic, right there. That scene right there with the White House being blown up, right there. That's iconic. Nothing iconic in this movie. Great special effects, great model work, awesome. And also, yeah, I said this before, but where is that scene? Yeah, the scene where the dog, the whole thing with the dog jumping out of the way of the fire. That is nothing compared to nothing what this film has. After watching this film, I have no problems with this film. Yeah, the whole thing with the dog jumping out of the way of the fire, I'm fine with now, because after watching this movie, nothing in this film can touch this film. Or if that's like reverse, this film cannot touch this film. And Margaret Collin, who played Jeff Goldblum's wife in the first movie, is never mentioned, as if she never existed at all. Never brought up. All these new characters I don't care for. I hate these characters. I hated them. So the film, the thing is though, it's directed by Roland Emmerich, and it does not feel like it's directed by Roland Emmerich himself. It doesn't look like it. It looks as if any other director could have stepped in to do this. It doesn't feel like it's Roland Emmerich. It doesn't. Probably because it's Independence Day, it's 20th anniversary. Probably that's why it's in his name. Five writers in this film who helped write this film, including Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin and 3 others. This is the best they come up with. I'm sitting here, I'm scratching my head because I'm watching this. It's like, this is what they came up with? Really? And now I'm really concerned because there was a film that Dean Devlin was going to direct. It's called Geostorm. It stars Gerard Butler. The film that, and of course, I know that film was having problems because it got kept from pushing from release date to another release date. And plus, I'm concerned because what Dean Devlin has been doing, especially with this when he wrote this film. So I have nothing else to say. I said I didn't want to make this an hour thing, and I'm getting close to the hour but now I think about it, I just want to go through this because this film is so horrendous. It is my absolute worst film of 2016. I hate this film to death. It's one of the biggest insults to a classic film that I've ever seen. Just want to put this back in. It's one of the biggest insults for a film that to a classic film that I've seen. It is. I can't. But I don't want to throw this. But what else says this on there for feet? Deleted scenes. The War of 1996 has a feature and a director's commentary. Yeah, I would love to hear Roland Emmerich's commentary on this film. What he thinks about it. This film shouldn't have been made. It was 20 years too late. I would have been fine if it was like released maybe 3 or 5 years after the first film, but 20 years here. Yeah, there are other films that are like 20 years after the one film is like Indiana Jones and the Temple and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That was like almost 20 years after the Last Crusade, and I like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull A lot of people don't like that film either, but I like it. That's a film that's like almost 20 years after after the last entry, and I like that movie. What else is there? It's like almost 20 years or whatever. Trying to think. Well, Jurassic World. That was 14 years after Jurassic Park 3. And yeah, I'll even watch. Jurassic World. I would say is better than Independence Day Resurgence. I was a little bit disappointed in Jurassic World though, but the effects I would say is much better than this film. Where is it? Here it is. I'll just hold up right here just for the sake of it. Yeah, I will even say Jurassic World is much better than this film. I would. I'm sure some people would agree with me though, because at least this film got the pass though. But the effects are not that great in this film though. But it's still much better effects than this. At least there was some. At least there was some. Not all of it was not green screen. Because a lot of times in the Jurassic Park films they shoot in Hawaii, whatever. Not all of this was green screen. So, but this was almost 100% green screen. So the effects, I would say, they're not that great though, but much better than this film. What else is there? Chris Pratt, because I enjoy Chris Pratt. He was one of the few things I liked. He was one of the few things I liked in the movie. His character alone in here is better than anybody in this piece of garbage. There's a Chris Pratt, as Owen Grady. Much better character than anybody in this movie. What else is there? Score. What was it by Michael? Where I'm trying to find the name here. Michael Giacchino is much better score than this film. Running time, pacing, I would say is much better than that film. I would pretty much say, well, I have nitpicks. I have a lot of nitpicks though, but still, I wouldn't even say even the cast is much better than that film. And Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard is not all that great, but B.D. Wong, the returning cast member from the first film, is much better. Yeah. And plus, I would say it's much better in general because I enjoy the Jurassic Park franchise. But, yeah, even though it's my least favorite, though, but still it's part of the Jurassic Park franchise, and I think it's a better franchise to me. I love the franchise, but I'm just pointing for the sake of it. I could think of a whole bunch of films that came out during the summer as much better. Captain America Civil War is much better. Suicide Squad, which I don't care for, though, but I would still say it's better than Resurgence. Especially for Will Smith and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Finding Dory, of course, miles. I'm trying to think of other films that came out during the summer. I just can't think of anything else, but probably even if a film that is not that great, I would say is probably much better than this. Especially for the big summer films, which this film was supposed to be a big hit during the summer, but it didn't. It failed and it bombed, and it deserved to bomb. I don't know why I think this was a good idea. Probably for the nostalgia, because it's 20th anniversary. Yeah, a great 20th anniversary. It failed flat on its face. I don't want Marcus to say. I'm done with this. I'm taking too long. I'm making now an hour and 5 minutes now. So yeah, this is my huge rant on one of the most insulting films I've seen in a long time. I would usually I've been viewing a lot of good movies, and I would highly recommend to watch those. Do not waste your money on this. granted, even though I did not pay money to get this, it was given to me. But I would not check this out. And if anyone likes the movie, that's fine. I'm not gonna bash you for it. That's your own opinion. To me, I don't like it. But if anyone who likes the film, that's cool. I will not bash anyone for it. Everyone has to like. Everyone has a right to like whatever they want. It's just their opinions. And yeah, after all, at the end of the day, it's just a movie, though. But it's a movie that should not have been made. To me, so yeah. But everyone has a right to their own opinion, though. But I don't like this movie. It's definitely it's the worst film I've seen this year. There's another film that's a very close second, though. But this film, after explaining the movie, it's the worst film I've seen this year. And I have to quickly revisit it when I do my top list of the worst films of 2016. So yeah, but you already know this. I just want to get this out of the way. I just wanted to review another film from this year because I haven't done that very many. But yeah, I just want to review the worst one. Worst film of this year, and it's a really huge insult as a fan of this classic right here. Characters, score, pacing, shitty effects, everything in this film, nothing memorable, nothing iconic, nothing. I hate this movie, and I just want to... One more time. Just one more time. One more time. So yeah, I just had to release all that out. I never want to watch this movie again. I'll never watch it again for as long as I live. I'll just watch this film where I can have fun and enjoyment and sit down and just watch it over and over again and won't get bored with it. So, disregard that. Just watch this film instead. And I've already reviewed this, so you can check it out now, and I've already explained why. So hope you enjoyed this big rant. It's probably I haven't done a big huge rant like this in quite some time. So I figure why not for this piece of shit film, and maybe curse more than usual. But that's what this film has done to me. I'm glad I did not see this in the theater. I'm glad I didn't waste my money on it. Otherwise, I would tell them I want my money back, and I would have walked out of the theater. But I didn't spend money on that. It was given to me. So glad I didn't waste my money on that either. But I'm not gonna get rid of it because it was given to me for a gift. So I'll show it, at least the least I can do to show my appreciations, and I'll keep it. But I'm never watching it again for as long as I live. I just won't. I'll just watch that film and I'll just have fun with it. I just want to get this over with. I don't want to drag this on too long. I'm going on long. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. So I hope you enjoy this rant, this full-blown rant. Probably the longest rant I've ever done in quite some time. But anyway, if anyone likes this film, that's fine. I'm not gonna say anything bad, but to me, 2 big thumbs down. So yeah, that's my rant on Independence Day Resurgence. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.